Hi there, I'm David Icke, and today I want to show you a really easy way to outline a new story. And in a moment here, I'm going to take you through my outline process and show you just how easy it is. But here's the gimmick. I don't know what story I'm going to outline because I'm going to be writing from a prompt. I have this little random generator here that is going to give me a prompt, and I'm going to go from this prompt. We're going to walk through the process, and you'll see just how easy it is to take a story from nothing to a really solid outline that you could use to write a great story. So if you're ready, let's get started. So we have a mystery here. We just did a mystery last time, and now we're going to see another mystery. Now our motivation here, or I don't have a good word for this section here. It's called the predicate in the source that it comes from. Enlisting wholeheartedly in the service of a needy unfortunate and conferring aid of the utmost value. Okay, so think of that in the context of a mystery. Now we have a highly placed informant passing secrets to her nation's enemies. And we have collaborators working against their government from within. Those two go together. So the question is, how does this fit into a mystery? So let's start. I'm going to paste this into my notes here. And so this is a mystery. We have collaborators working against their government, including a highly placed informant. So this might be during a time of war. World War II is a kind of a fun setting for a story like this. If you've ever seen a show called Foyle's War, it's a series of mysteries set during World War II. So this could be like a plot from Foyle's War. Okay, so our detective is going to be helping out a needy unfortunate. So, okay, perhaps he's helping out the wife of a janitor at at Whitehall, we'll say, who's been murdered, and somehow this murder relates to these collaborators. So desire. We always start off with the desire. That's the most important thing in the story. It's going to drive the story. Stories don't happen unless someone desires something and is having trouble getting it. So the desire here is to help the wife of a murdered janitor get justice. So obviously our character is a detective of some sort. It doesn't necessarily have to be an actual, police detective. This doesn't have to be Foyle himself. It could be someone in the office who knew the janitor and maybe is friends with the family. It could be the parish priest. I suppose this is London, so I don't know how that works there. So let's just go with a police detective right now. London police detective. And the opposing force is going to be the people at Whitehall who are, they feel this is a distraction from their more important duties. And of course, some of them are actually working against their government to help the Germans. Staff of Whitehall, especially the German collaborators. So the hook we'll get to in a minute, because we're going to start with the end in mind. What's going to happen? Well, the detective gets his man, and he's going to uncover this nest of collaborators. That's how these stories always end, and it's a good way for them to end. So we go back to the hook, and obviously that's going to be the dead janitor found in an important man's office in Whitehall. The detective arrives at the scene and begins interviewing witnesses. Now, especially in a short story, and always in a mystery like this, you want to introduce all the main characters. I think in a mystery like this, it's especially important that the murderer be on the scene, introduced in very short order. Just all main characters. Wife begs detective for justice. Okay, that gives us plenty of hook to dive into the story right from the beginning. So from there, we are going to move to the midpoint. So from the hook to the midpoint, the first half of the story, the main character, our detective, is reacting to the events that come upon him. There's the dead body. He's trying to find out what happened. Things are happening that he doesn't understand. And the midpoint is usually a good place for a twist of some sort, some revelation that is going to give our protagonist that one piece of information he needs that's going to turn the tables down. Now he's going to move from being reactive to proactive, and he's going to start taking the fight to the enemy in some way. So we need a twist of some sort. Okay, so let's have the detective interviewing one of the collaborators. And a collaborator says something that doesn't fit with the official story. So I don't know exactly what the official story is or what the slip up is going to be yet. That's something that we can develop later as we develop the story further from this outline. But first, this is a very rough cut of the shape of the story. So from the midpoint, we move to the first twist. And I think the first twist needs to be officials, Whitehall, discourage detective from dragging this case on. Perhaps there's a desired narrative that they want to push. That was an accident or suicide, something like that. But clearly there's something fishy about this. One of my favorite things about Foyle's War is how devoted to justice that he is. And there's a war going on, and people are continually telling him, why is this important? This, petty little murder that you're going after. There's a war on. People are dying left and right. And he doesn't give a hoot. So I imagine that for our detective here, that people are trying to discourage him from dragging this on and distracting them from their very important war work. But he is going to doggedly follow this to the bitter end. So from the first twist, we're going to go to the big setback. And this could be a number of things, because now he's on the trail of the bad guy or bad guys. This could be a chase. They're on the run, and can he catch them in time before they can cross the channel? This could be that he's cornered or captured by the murderers and has to escape from them. I think so far in these outlines I've been using that captured element quite a bit. So let's turn around, and just when he's closing in on his primary suspect, she goes missing. I think she, because as I think about it, I want that highly placed informant to be the murderer, and maybe she's the secretary to one of the important officials, and she's been getting information from his desk and passing it on to this network of collaborators. So that's the big setback, is she goes missing. He's going to arrest her, and she's not there, and it becomes a chase, which ends in, of course, him capturing, getting his woman. Okay. From the setback, we'll move on to the first pinch point. And in a detective story, This is interviewing witnesses, piecing together the events before and after the murder. That one's easy. And then pinch 2 is closing in on the murderer and the collaborators, piercing through the veil of lies. And there we go. We now have a full outline for a mystery story. We are missing plenty of particulars, like who the characters are, how the dead body's been murdered, all that. But we have enough details, I think, to go and develop this further with just a little more effort. But I'm going to stop here because my point is just to show you the outline process and how easy it is. We started from nothing except just a couple of pretty generic elements, and now we have a fairly satisfying story. And by satisfying, I mean that the shape of this is satisfying, so that a reader who reads a story shaped like this is going to come away feeling good about how this is played out. And it's still up to you, the writer, or me, the writer, to write the story well and set up the mystery and all the clues in the proper way. But those are the details. This is the important part of just getting the structure right so that we can write a satisfying story. So that is how it works. I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. And if you do me a favor, I'd love to hear what do you find hardest about writing, and where do you stumble the most when you try and write a story like this? I'd love to hear from you what problems you've encountered as you try and write stories. So please leave a comment down at the bottom down there, and while you're down there, please do me a favor and like and subscribe to this channel. And I'll be doing a lot more of these outlines as we go forward. Also, if it is interesting to you, if you find this process helpful, I do have a book. It's down in the description, and it's going to walk you through this process and a whole lot more, going from idea generation to outline development and then actually writing and editing a story. It walks you through the whole process. It's short, it's straightforward, not full of fluff, and we'll walk you through the whole process. So I hope you enjoy it, and I will see you next time.